Babe Tarishan.
What's up? I'm Blender Babe Caitlin.
And today we're doing a blend off and doing the hot soup test.
Ooh. So, both the Nutri Ninja and the NutriBullet Rx are really popular for smoothie making, but can they make soup?
Well, we're gonna find out. These are two cost-effective blenders that people a lot of use for smoothies, but we're gonna test this with Blender Babe's original vegetarian tortilla soup. And I really love this recipe because it's really simple ingredients that everybody has at home. It's super flavorful, it's very high in nutrition, and best of all, it's not full of preservatives and sodium like all the canned stuff. And it's really, really easy to make.
And for our tortilla soup recipe, no pre-cooking is necessary, nothing preheated. You just put all your ingredients into your blender container and you blend. To blend the soup in the NutriBullet Rx, all you do is set it to the 7-minute hot cycle for the soup. And so you just press this button until it turns red, and that's the automatic 7-minute hot soup cycle.
And for the Nutri Ninja, all the recipes in the recipe book tell you to use the puree setting, which only runs for a minute. I've already done that before, so this time we're going to try and use the high setting, which stops after 4 minutes, and so I'm gonna press it again to blend for an additional 3 minutes, so it's 7 minutes versus 7 minutes. All right, let's get started.
Okay, so put the water in first.
Water, yep. So we've got carrots, we've got some tomato, a little bit of onion, and celery. And then this is a little bit of cilantro, and then taco seasoning and tomato bouillon for the vegetarian one, and a little bit of garlic salt.
So for starting my blender, I press the on button once, I hold down. The NutriBullet Rx retails brand new for $179.99. There is also a refurbished NutriBullet Rx for $134.99. It features a 2.3 horsepower 1700 watt motor and hands-free smart technology with 2 automatic settings. The NutriBullet Rx comes in the box with stainless steel extractor blade, the Super Blast Easy Pour pitcher with a vented lid, a 30-ounce short cup, a 45-ounce oversized cup, a comfort ring and stay fresh lid, and a NutriBullet Prescription Rx recipe book. The Nutri Ninja Duo with Auto IQ price ranges from $199 to $250 depending on how many accessories you get. It features a 2 horsepower 1500 watt motor and Auto IQ technology, which is basically pre-timed automatic settings, and keep in mind, certain settings only work with certain containers. The Nutri Ninja Duo comes with 1 interchangeable extractor blade and 1 total crushing blade, 3 Nutri Ninja cups, 20 ounce, 24 ounce, and 32 ounce, all with sip and seal lids, a 72 ounce blending pitcher, and a recipe book. So now we're going to measure the temperature of my soup that's in the NutriBullet Rx with thermometer.
Whoa! That is hot. Okay, so it doesn't feel as hot as yours, let's put it that way. So actually I'm gonna do this way that you're supposed to, this jar, because you wanna be very careful with that center blade. It's very, very sharp. So they actually have a pour spout with the Ninja total crushing jar so that you avoid the blade as much as possible. So, aha! Okay. So right now we're at room temperature. It's hot in here. It's getting hot in here. Okay. So we've got 81 degrees. So it went like a little bit more than room temperature. And the last time when I tested it was just the 1 minute. It didn't heat at all.
Still going at 139 degrees, 143, 144.
It's steaming.
Okay, so my final number is 145 degrees.
145?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so now we're gonna taste it, just for texture.
Taste testing is my favorite part.
I know, me too. Yeah, mine's, I mean, it's not hot, it's like a gazpacho, but
Mine is really hot, and it tastes great.
well, mine has a little bit of texture, not a lot, a little bit. Definitely more than when I, you know, blended it for a minute on the puree setting, which is the instructions from the Nutri Ninja recipe book is to puree your ingredients and then pour it on the stove to heat it. So by blending it on high a lot longer, it's actually much more, much smoother than if I just did the puree setting. So.
And just a quick note, both of the manuals for each blender say to not put in any ingredients that are already hot to make sure that it's all room temperature when you start to blend.
Like a lot of soup recipes, you know, you saute veggies, or you might make your own like homemade broth, and then you'll pour it into the soup. You'll pour it into the pitcher, you know, right away, and then just puree it. These ones you can't. They want you to cool it to room temperature, put it in the fridge, and cool it off faster, and then add it to your jar. But for the Nutri Ninja, you can't then heat it through friction. This one doesn't heat through friction. The NutriBullet looks like it does.
Definitely, it is so hot.
Can I taste yours?
Yeah.
All right, taste it.
Here, let's switch spoons. Give me your spoon.
All right, I'll take my cootie spoon. Oh my gosh, that's so good. It's so simple too, you know.
I like yours too.
It's cold. I mean, it'll get hot on the stove. It just takes a little bit more time. What do you think about the texture?
I like your texture better, but it definitely has a lot more texture than mine. Mine is just like a drink.
Do you like soups to have texture?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that, you know, like I like them smoother like this.
Right.
But, you know, if you want to make a chunky soup, you can make chunky soups with these guys. With the Ninja, the Nutri Ninja, you would heat it on the stove, and then at the end, near the end, you would add your additional ingredients and just make sure that they're like chopped up as small as that you would want them, and add it to the soup at the end on the stove.
I see. And with mine, you would just take the lid off and add your ingredients like tortilla chips and beans. We have tortilla chips.
I like to do black beans and corn and tortilla chips for our tortilla soup recipe, but you know, any other kind of soup, leftover rice or pasta, you know, more veggies is a really great way to make a chunky soup. I'll watch to see how you do it.
So to chop your tortilla chips, you would just press the on button once and then press it off again immediately after. So the equivalent of like a second.
Yeah, it's like one pulse. So
one pulse.
Without having like a separate pulse feature, that's how you can pulse with the NutriBullet. It's hot. I can't believe how hot it is. I might have to eat some of that. I'm hungry.
I hope my smoke detector doesn't go off.
Can I have some? Oh, that one's yours, but I have my spoon,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll take it. Thank you. Let's see.
I'm amazed with just one pulse after I added the tortilla chips. The tortilla chips are really crushed.
Yeah.
After just 1 second.
Yeah.
Continually, the NutriBullet impresses me.
I agree, and I think, you know, it's important to note that they both can make soup. This one just does it faster, you know, it'll take like less time than the Nutri Ninja. So it's a little bit easier if you're crunched for time. Then definitely this would be the way to go.
And essentially, this NutriBullet Rx makes the friction kind of like with this action.
Right.
So it's just creating friction with a
So
heater.
there's not like a separate heating element.
No.
It's created through friction, right? And this one doesn't, even though it's really powerful, I mean, it's 1500 watts, that's a really powerful blender. It's not able to create enough friction to create heat.
So for this hot soup blend off, I definitely think the NutriBullet Rx outperformed the Nutri Ninja because it made superior soup It's hot already and it tasted so good.
Okay, well, we hope that you enjoyed this blend off. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments or reach out on social media. I'm Blender Babe Tarshan.
And I'm Blender Babe Caitlin. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube because you want to get in touch with us, right? Tell us what you think.
And as always, happy blending.